essentially. And so you have a current account deficit. So now, what happens in period 4? Now, this is really the interesting period. Now, first thing is the number of offspring per worker goes down because you have that large generation who go. Now, here the baby boom generation is in working age, right? There were children in period 3. Now they're in working age in period 4. They have few babies. Now you have a large generation that has few babies that pulls down the age dependency ratio because you have very few children, a lot of workers, and the standard number of retired people. So the age dependency ratio goes down. Age dependency ratio goes down because the number of children goes down and the number per person goes down and the number of workers goes up. Now, what does that mean? So you have the baby boom generation. The baby boomeration in the blossom of its years, right? They work. They have few children. So I have a lot of people, and each of them, and now I'm coming back to your point, each of them saving a lot. Why do they save a lot? Because they have few children. Why is aggregate savings a lot? Because there's a lot of people saving very much. So by the end of the day, in period 4, the current account balance goes up. So of the large baby boomer generation saving much. So aggregate savings goes up, and so the current account balance goes up. Now, what happens in period 5? Well, the number of offspring per worker goes back to normal, but the age dependency ratio goes up again. Why is that? In period 5. Where's the baby boom generation now in period 5? They retired, exactly. So in period 5, these people who were born in period 3, of working age in period 4, are retired. Now, the age dependency ratio goes up, not because of a lot of babies, but because of a lot of retired people. So this means there's a lot of so you see that this seems to be the same thing, but here you have a high age dependency ratio because you have a lot of babies. Here you have a high age dependency ratio because you have a lot of retired people. Also, you have the working age population is low. Well, because the baby boomers had so few children. Now, what does that do to saving? Well, now you have a large generation actually doing this saving. These people eat up their retirement savings, right? That's the difference to that picture where it seems like people never really eat up their retirement savings. Here in the model they do, and so savings becomes negative, and so that drives down the current account balance. So you have the whole story, you have the baby boom happening in period 3. Baby boomers' parents save less because they have to feed their children, giving rise to a small current account deficit. In period 4, you have the baby boomers themselves being of work age, saving a lot, A, because they have few children individually, and B, because there are so many, giving rise to a current account surplus. And in period 5, these people being retired, eating up their savings, so national savings goes down big time, and that results in a current account deficit. And then in period 6, the whole thing is back in steady state, and the current account balance is 0 because, you know, the population is constant again, and, you know, this is a very stylized example, but it goes a long way in explaining the German current account balance. Now, let me show you something. Why did the German savings rate go up so much around the turn of the millennium? Well, so you see it's gone from something like 23% to something way above 25%. My interpretation is this is when the baby boom generation reached, you know, prime savings age. Now, when was the German baby boom? The baby boom in Germany was much later than the baby boom in the United States. This is a frequent misunderstanding. Baby booms happened at different points in time in different countries. In the United States, the baby boom happened immediately after the war. In Germany, the baby boom happened in the mid-1960s. So Germany, after the disastrous defeat in the war, took a couple of decades to recover. I mean, in the first 10 years after the war, people didn't have a lot of kids because everything was so uncertain and desperate. And then, you know, Germany got back on its feet, and in the mid-1960s, all of a sudden, there were a lot of babies being born. Now, if you want to, have you ever met one of these babies? It's me. I'm a German baby boomer, right? If you look at the population, we don't have a population pyramid anymore. We have a population tree, right? A setter kind of thing. And I'm a member of one of these big generations in the second half of the 1960s, right? There's just a big number of us. And then in the 1970s, fertility declined and declined. But now, of course, you could argue, why didn't these guys save more before? I don't have saving rates going back to the 1980s. But here, what happened in the early 2000s is also that the government said, look, folks, there's a problem ahead. You have to save individually because the public pension system cannot sustain you. And people were given large incentives to save. And so we have these large savings rates. Now the question is, will this go on forever? And the answer is no, of course not. Right? I mean, when I retire, I will save less. When all my fellow baby boomers retire, they will save less as well. And so there is there is a huge demographic component in the current account balance. All right. Good. So this is right. So let me say that again. Through period 2 and after period 5, we have a constant demographic structure, constant savings, no changes in the international investment position. The baby boom reduces the savings of the working age generation, results in a current account deficit. Period 4, there's a baby bust. There are large per capita saving and a large number of workers, the baby boom generation, resulting in a current account surplus. And in period 5, the large baby boom generation enters retirement. There's large negative savings. The small baby bust generation reaches work age, small positive savings, and the current account balance goes into deficit. Now, this suggests that there's a relationship between age dependency ratios and the current account balance. And you see that in a simple regression that doesn't control for anything else, you do see that by and large countries having a higher age dependency ratio